You are watching Pucknology After Dark. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my.
Wow.
Yeah, they should be howling too. Holy crap. Alright, welcome to this edition of Pucknology After Dark. I am Eric Kura, otherwise known as Puck Guy 14. Uh, uh, if you're like us, you need to get some venting off your chest. By all means, here are the ways to do so. Use the hashtag Pucknology After Dark to ask questions or comment about the show or the game tonight. You can follow us on Twitter uh, at PuckGuy14, at Pucknology, at AJ Strong, at Eric Landy, at JAlexander46. All right. With that being said, good evening to, we'll get the quick introductions out of the way. Eric Landy,
Hi.
uh, Gentry's kind of working on his connection here. He might need to jump over. AJ Strong, yep. Gentry's, you're showing. Yeah, there you go. There's Gentry.
Hi. Well, everybody seemed to mute themselves, so I guess I'll start. Boy, I guess it was really deflating tonight. And you know what? I'm going to be the first one to say it. Jones had a horrible game tonight. It was those goals that he let in. I did not like the bouncing deflection he let in. I didn't like the overtime goal he let in. But his defense got soft in front of him after the second period. So if you're going to fault him for the goals, I think you should also fault the suspect defense. And ladies and gentlemen, Vlasic's hurt, Nieto's hurt, and you've got some Sharks that are hurting along now, and it doesn't look so great. Ian, and I guess you need to go into your intro.
My intro?
Yeah.
I hate everything. I hate everybody. I hate hockey. I hate sunshine. I hate the rain. I hate when it's not raining. I fucking hate everything.
I believe it was Kevin Lacey who picked Nashville, right? He's looking.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, well, he looks like he might be right with that one. But AJ, I guess it's your turn to introduce yourself. I'm sure you've got something to say. And I can't hear you. We can't hear you. Okay.
Part of that.
There you
Okay.
go. Part of what you said, I actually couldn't disagree more. I thought Jones looked okay. I didn't like the last goal. I thought the overtime goal was suspect. The other goals, the one that gets that ridiculous bounce, it's a fluke.
Yeah.
Those are going to happen, and I don't put that out on Jones per se. If there's anybody I think that needs to be like called out and like burned in effigy is Braun and Dylan tonight. Two of the worst games they have ever played in Teal. That fluky goal, that's Braun blindly passing it right to a predator, Dylan not knowing to defend it, and boom, fluke goal in the net. Later in the game, once again, Dylan doesn't know where the hell he's supposed to be. Braun makes another suspect play, boom, in the net. And then just it seemed like obviously Tierney showed up. He netted too. But there was a couple other, a lot of passengers tonight, no one really driving it, constantly hearing about how guys aren't communicating, and that comes from fatigue. I was hoping that they would make adjustments and come out quicker, but they just dragged ass in the second period. It was just getting worse, and I expected them to come out with some speed in the third because they'd conserved so much energy through the first two periods, not to mention getting completely dominated in the face-off circle. And then, at least your one saving grace, I guess, is they do get the power play goal, even though Laviolette, I don't know, spent 20 minutes bitching about a clear, easy goalie interference call.
was
I
a
don't
high
even.
stick. It was a high stick. It
Yeah,
wasn't
well, I mean,
goal.
but they called goalie interference.
No, they
I don't
called a
give a
high stick.
fuck.
They called high stick.
They called goalie
No,
interference.
they called high stick
Okay,
over
the
the PA.
graphic on the fucking bottom of the
The
screen said
graphic
Guys,
goalie
said goalie
interference.
interference, but the
guys,
PA
no, no,
announcer said that it was high sticking.
Okay, who
Guys.
cares, dude? It was a fucking
guys, we
penalty.
scored the
So at
goal.
least they
So
scored. Dude, I mean, who gives a shit what it was? They fucking they got the goddamn penalty.
No, no,
They
because
make a call, dude. Whether the graphic guy fucked up or somebody else fucked up, it doesn't matter. It happened. Laviolette argued what was a clear call. I got a kick out of that. I got
That's
a
for
big
sure.
kick out of that. But they still, at least they netted it. But for me, the Sharks, for the most part, sleptwalked through this entire fucking game.
yeah,
They
after
tried
they
to.
score the two goals, it's like, okay, we can let our foot off the gas now.
Mm-hmm. Yep, precisely. It's just absolutely ridiculous how in the world that they think they could sit on a 2-0 lead early in the first period, and you didn't think Nashville was going to come out and with anything. It's ridiculous, Gentry.
I don't know what it is with this game and this team right now. Where was that jump and that fire that we saw in Game 5? They took over that game and they never let go. But this game, it just kind of seemed like somebody slipped the team of Crosby. You know, it was god awful hockey, god awful puck management. It's like, I'm wondering if Carrie Underwood, went to the locker room and was giving the entire team BJ's and just kind of threw them off their game.
Okay, dude, that's a little that's a little
We
much.
gotta try to keep it somewhat. I mean, we're obviously all bitter right now, and with understandably so. But the
Well, I mean,
bitterness is that the Sharks put up a horrible effort, like you guys have said already. 2-0. They thought they had the foot in the bag. They thought they can take care of everything and everything would be freaking hunky dory. It's not going to be that way. You gotta want it no matter what. You gotta play a full 60 minutes. This is a freaking playoffs. You don't think that Nashville wasn't going to come out and run? No, I expected them to get a goal. Jones hasn't had a shutout in the playoffs at all. This is not going to be an easy cakewalk. Nobody's going to be a cakewalk. And if the Sharks thought that they could get through it with a cakewalk, forget it. No way. No way. And it showed tonight. Now they got to go back to San Jose, sit around. Well, I won't say sit around, but they got to wait 2 days because Logan Couture's wannabe girlfriend has a concert in San Jose, and play Game 7, be the last team that finishes their second round, and then get on a plane, and they'll probably start Saturday afternoon against either St. Louis or Dallas.
that's it. That's if they win Game 7.
That's yeah. Well, either team, going back and forth. Nashville, I don't know who their strength and conditioning coach is, but wow, this team has gone from Nashville to Anaheim, back to Nashville, back to Anaheim, back to Nashville, back to Anaheim, flew up to San Jose, back to Nashville, to San Jose, back to Nashville. Now they're going to go back to San Jose, and then they're going to travel to either St. Louis or Dallas if they win. And they have probably the freshest legs I've ever seen from a playoff team right now. I've never seen anybody do that, and they played their game after they made it 2-1.
No, I can't agree more. And they're making the damn Fisher, Colin Wilson, whatever the hell his name is, the other one, James Neal, that little prick. They're making them look like freaking superstars out there, and they're not. They're good two-way forwards. They're not. They should not be this good. It's clearly Braun and Vlasic have not been up to snuff on their defensive assignments. I don't know about what you guys think, but I cannot believe how the Sharks are letting these guys run rampant.
No, that second line's been unreal. Absolutely unreal.
When does Ian get a word in edgeways?
When he decides to talk?
I'm letting you guys vent a little bit here first because I'm gonna remind everyone that after game whatever it was in Nashville, Game 4, we kind of sat here, we kind of had the similar bitch fest, and then they came back in Game 5 and they were fine. I'm not worried. I know a lot of people. I know I'm going to get a lot of mentions. Oh, the great collapse of 2016 is, is upon us. And I talk to me after Game 7. The series isn't over yet. I, they were fine. They've been fine at home. I don't know why everyone's suddenly decided that they're just not going to win at home anymore. Like, I don't know. I mean, was this game disappointing? Yeah, absolutely. Did the Sharks lay a fucking giant egg? Yes, absolutely. But they've been fine at home. I think when they have last change, I think that's been the difference in the series. Who has last change in series has won the game. The Sharks are going to go back home. They're going to get the matchups that they want, and that's going to be key to winning this series. I'm not fallen off the bandwagon yet. The Sharks can still put this away. Is it the way we wanted them to? No. Did Nashville come out and actually play a good game because holy shit, they're facing elimination? Maybe they actually came to play. Yeah, they did. I mean, do you want to have the Sharks show a little more killer instinct? Absolutely. Of course you do. But the reality is, this is where we're at. I mean, I don't like it any more than you guys, but at the same time, the series wasn't over when we dropped 2 games in Nashville. The series isn't over because we dropped one now.
I just, you know what? I mean, it's the fact that they even let it get this far. It's like toying with your food, and just keep twirling around the spaghetti, keep messing with your food, and not eating it. And they are clearly, they have more depth than the Predators do. I would venture to say in all respects, but we'll say forwards especially. We'll say defense is a wash, and we'll say goaltending is probably a wash. Tonight, their forwards didn't play like they were the better team. Their forwards played like they're tired and they're ready to go home.
Well, to be honest, they're used to playing golf this time of the year.
No, that's true. No, AJ has a great point, because why should we feel inspired for a Game 7 when the last, like, geez, I mean, the Game 7 against Detroit, they let them crawl back into that series. Let's not forget that Game 7 against Detroit, what happened? They had a 3-0 series lead, and they let them get all the way back.
Different team.
Okay, it's a different team, but why did Thornton or Marlowe or Pavelski or Couture, not will this? I mean, Couture he missed a defensive responsibility tonight, and it cost him a goal. Braun and Vlasic, who are supposed to be your most sturdy pair, had a defensive miscue, cost them a goal. They were up 3-2 with 8 minutes left. They could have closed this game out, but no. They let them back in. They let them get wide and make a beautiful pass into the slot. Nobody was covering that man, and tapped it in. Nobody covered Wilson. Yeah, nobody covered Wilson. That was a horrible miscue. You can't have that miscue in a Game 6, ready to close out a team.
No, I agree.
And you know what? AJ is right. The frickin' face-offs have been a nightmare. Just face-offs alone.
Only in Nashville and San Jose, they've been fine. Just like the top line has been fine in San Jose because they get to choose the matchups. I think this is honestly, this is a matchup problem. I've been preaching this all series. Nashville, when they get the matchups they want, for some reason they've unlocked the code to shut down the top line. But you get that top line back. Last night, a game ago in San Jose, Pavelski had 2 goals. People all over him tonight.
Yeah, but I also think part of that, too, is the refs. I mean, it was mentioned by a couple different people, including Hedekin, that especially Gustav, but most of the Preds were being they got away with a lot of cheating and not getting their stick down in the circle, which, of course, gives you an advantage. But there's no goddamn reason to. What did they get? 3 out of 14 faceoffs in the first period? I mean, I don't. There's something to be said about matchups.
Oh,
but that's just goddamn ridiculous,
the
man. Jesus Christ.
Let's not talk about the missed double minor for the high sticking that should have been called, but was clearly forgotten about by the refs.
Are you talking about on Pavelski?
Yeah.
See, now I've seen that before, where they're going to call that's follow through, and so it's it's incidental, so they're just going to call it a follow through. And you know what? At least they were consistent, because the last time I saw that happen, it happened to Pavelski, and they called it follow through. So I don't
So
expect that to get called
apparently
in the playoffs either.
pretty much we're treating this like, it's Highlander and we're going to start going for the players' heads. Cool. Good going, right? Good going, NHL.
Dude,
so
that's not even going to make a difference,
That's
dude,
right.
because it came down to the fact that the Sharks were too slow to pucks. They were just completely not engaged. They weren't talking to each other. You could see it. The defense was just completely out of sync tonight. The whole team was out of sync. A 4-minute minor was not going to change that in any respect whatsoever.
But it
The
could have
team,
given us like a little bit of a push and momentum because we would have been
Well,
carrying over the shots. At
Couture, yeah,
least.
but Couture's power play goal. That was your momentum right there. And you've got what 7-8 minutes left to try to just lock it down and keep everybody to the perimeter. And they kept just letting people walk in, letting play happen in the slot, not boxing out, not keeping people outside. And you get what you had happen. But I still go back to the fact that they just looked tired, fatigued, whatever you want to call it, and they were just slow to every puck tonight.
So it looks like Stephanie, my regular face, she does a great job with all the gifts and stuff. The overtime shot goes off of Vlasic's stick, deflects up, there's a game winner. I mean, it's still Vlasic did not have good position on Arvidsson in that overtime. I mean, he let him get too wide on him again. It was funny because at the very beginning, the first period, it looked like the Sharks really had the neutral zone on lockdown. They were standing up at their own blue line, making sure that it was contested, making sure that the Predators didn't gain the line easily. And then after the second period, they let them walk in. And there
I think it was before the second.
Yeah, it was the end of the first. They
yeah,
were lucky.
Yeah, so they were lucky to escape with the 2-1 lead going into the second. That 4-on-4 goal was horrid. That should have never gotten in. I put that one on Jones. That's a 5-hole goal that you need to stop. And you need to close up that 5-hole quicker than that. And that was the one that Couture was victimized on. And he looked like shit.
Well, see, that must have been the third goal then, because for me, like I said, the first goal, that's Braun just giving it away, Dylan being out of position, boom, it's in. The one that really gets me, and it's not Jones, that was straight up, it was when they scored very early in the second, I mean, like 3 feet out of the net on a backhander, all because Braun overcommitted and Dylan was out of position. I mean, it never even should have gotten to OT tonight. Those are goals that you just don't let in defensively. Not even Jones. Those are pucks that shouldn't have even gotten to Jones. How long did it take Nashville to get a puck on goal in the first, for Christ's sake? Like 8-9 minutes? They were looking good, at the beginning. And then it just collapsed. It's like as soon as they netted the 2 from Tierney, everybody just like went into pure relax mode. And so it was just like, oh, we got this. Instead, they should have just had their foot down, looking to get Tierney the hat trick and get the hell out of there after some handshakes.
And that's the worst part. And I hate to use the term, but if there's reasons why that choker label unfortunately follows this team around, it's because of games like this, where you have a 2-0 lead, you think, we got this. We're just going to kick back, relax. We're good. There's no way. We got them down. Yeah, that was unfortunately 10 minutes into the game. Yeah, they didn't have a shot on goal early in the first period, AJ. You're bang on that. Chris Tierney, 2 goals. Great effort there. But where were they the rest of the 50 minutes?
That line was on the whole game.
Yeah, no, they were great tonight. Well, until Nieto got hurt, and that's the other thing, too. Nieto gets hurt, throws off the lines a little bit, and that's the thing. You let these guys crawl right back in, and if you give them a little piece, they're gonna want to take the whole cookie. I mean, it's ridiculous, and that's the thing. You blow this when you know this series should be over by now. This series should be over because of that freaking ass bad call on goaltender interference. That's the sickening part about this, is that now we got to wait 2 days to get to Game 7, all partly because of a bad call and lazy effort.
Hold on, we played tonight because of a bad call in Game 4 in overtime.
That's my point.
That's what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my point. Yeah, is we shouldn't be playing the series. We should have had handshakes on Saturday night. Instead, we're playing 2 more games. Let's hope like hell this thing doesn't go into overtime on Thursday. And I mean, but you're right, Landy. I should be saying if as opposed to when, because the Sharks are against the wall.
And I hate to be the one that pisses on the parade here, or pisses on everybody's good vibe and going into Game 7, but the Predators just did this. They literally just did this in the last round, and they shocked a better Anaheim squad than them. And you know, we might not like the makeup of Anaheim. I don't think any one of us do, but they are pound for pound still better than the Predators, and the Predators did that to them. I'm telling you guys, I don't have a good feeling about this one, and I sure as hell hope they prove me wrong, but. You know what? I mean, like I said before, we've seen this same old narrative all over again. This is the reason why the Sharks have the rep that they do. So.
No, and that's the sickening part, is that it's a combination of bad luck in Game 4, and it's, you know, dominating play in Game 5, and this game should have been over. We shouldn't have even been talking about overtime. This should have been done, but we sat back, we played dumb defensively. And now it's costing us, and now we're all kind of sitting here twiddling our thumbs going, whoa, I wonder what's going to happen on Thursday. And we should be sitting here elated going, yeah, we're going to hockey's Final Four. You know, everybody, and we should be talking about this great season that we've had, this great bounce back. But yet again, here we are talking about the same old crap where it's like, well, there's the reason why the Sharks are called, you know, labeled playoff chokers. And God forbid, I'm really hoping that this new, you know, DeBoer coach squad, you know, says, you know what, we don't let them come into our bond and dictate play, but
well, what's the old adage? It's you haven't lost a series till you lost one at home, right? So you do have that. You do have the home ice advantage for whatever that's worth, which is worth a lot because, like Ian has mentioned, you know, you get the changes that you want, you get the guys on the ice that you want, you get last change, you have the home advantage. You don't have to fucking listen to that stupid ass chanting it's just so annoying, and it doesn't even make sense. And
hey, dude, you know what? It's upsetting you, so it's doing its job.
Frickin' lootly, you just hit it on the head, AJ. It gets into your head, and that's what the Shark Tank frickin' needs. Not just for Thursday, but from here on out. Why? Because you just mentioned it. It pisses you off. It pisses us off. And guess what? Kudos to those Predators fans for doing it, because they have shown the passion and the desire for their hockey team. Not saying that we don't, because we know deep down inside we do. But man, if it gets into our heads, you gotta wonder maybe if it gets into the guys' heads too.
I don't know.
Because I've never seen Martin Jones get really this messed up, and I don't know. Does the short leash come into play for Jones?
No, I mean I don't think so. He hasn't.
Jones didn't lose this game. It was the fucking
I'm
standing in front of him.
Agreed. Agreed. I mean, but like I said, I did not like those goals that he gave up, but they're not goals that warrant him to be, you know, pulled. I mean, if you go with Reimer in Game 7, I think that just sends the wrong message.
No, there's no way in the hell that's happening.
No, you don't start Reimer, but I mean, do you essentially give him a short leash? Like if he lets in 2 quick ones like Rene did tonight, do you start up on that?
No.
You might. No, it's Game 7. I mean, you might. Depending on how quick those goals are scored. Because if it seems like it's 20 seconds apart like Dallas did tonight, then you know that you might actually think about it. Only because
Yeah,
you got to
now
change the tide.
that's an awful comparison because Lettinen and Niemi have just been god awful.
Right, they've been shit the whole playoffs. Jones, you look at Jones has been our guy the whole time. That's the horse you're riding across the finish line. Whether the finish line is Thursday night or beyond Thursday night, that's the horse you ride at this point.
Chester Chivo chiming in. He'd start Reimer in place of Braun or Dylan.
That I consider.
Now that's something I can support. I can get behind.
Let's just hope Reimer's a good skater backwards. But another thing that Chester chimed in. Does Peter DeBoer make any changes for Game 7? I think with Nieto, he's got to make the change for Nieto, right?
Wingles draws back in.
Yeah, and so yeah, I think Wingles goes in for Nieto, and that's that. I don't think there's anything else.
Where do you insert Wingles? You just pop them into the third line, or do you bring up maybe Carlson to the third line?
Yeah, I think you put Wingles back on the bottom. I think Wingles would be fine with Smalling and Zubris. I think you go. I don't know. Maybe you go Wingles. See, it's hard. That third line's been so good.
I think you're going to see Marlowe back down in the third then.
You might.
Yeah, you might reconfigure back down to the 3 again. But
I got to be honest with you though, it wouldn't irk me in the least if they went with DeMello over Dylan.
No, I can't see it.
I can't see it, but I'm just saying it wouldn't bother me. I cannot believe. Bronny and Dylan, I pray, really learned a lot from tonight's game about communication, positioning, overcommitting. I mean, there was just so many things tonight. And why so many times Dylan and Bronny were actually caught out there at the same time. You know?
Yeah. Why was that? Was it just a mischange?
It's a line change, I think.
Yeah, I think it was just taking advantage of the defensive change.
Yeah.
And you know what? Kudos to Nashville for exploiting that.
I think the other thing though that's kind of interesting is the long change in the second period. I always look at this team and go, man, if they can escape with a lead or escape with a tie in the second period, it's a good win because they don't seem to make line changes all that well, especially in the second period when they have to travel a little bit farther. It seems like they get stuck in their own zone too much.
If I can just for a moment invoke just a sliver of silver lining for Sharks fans, is trying to give you like just a hint, a ray of sunshine.
For the love of God, please, AJ.
I'm working on it. This means, because there's a Game 7 on Thursday, this means not only tomorrow, but on Wednesday as well. That's 2 opportunities to find the Sharks street team at a Chipotle or wherever they set up that day and get a free shirt or a towel or something, at the very least a free sign. So at least there's that. I'm trying to we got to lighten it up a little bit because, as Ian said, this is not the end of the world. There is another game to be played, and the Sharks have been much better at home since these playoffs have started. They looked fantastic on Saturday night, so I think we can. I think they can pull it out.
Yep. Here's a graphic. This is the Sharks' Game 7 history in the franchise history. Of course, that goes stemming back to their inaugural playoff series where, we're going to bank on this now. And sorry, Bakes, if you're watching Jamie Baker scoring still 22 years later, the greatest goal in Sharks history, beating Detroit 3-2. Fortunately, they lost in Game 7 to Toronto that same year. Their only overtime sojourn in Game 7 was a 5-4 win. I won't tell you who scored that game-winning goal, but he just happens to be my favorite player of all time.
And Patrick pointing out on chat, we've still only lost 1 game in regulation.
That's right.
So
go figure, guys. Go figure. That's insane. 2000, that was the obvious Owen Nolan slap shot at center ice that stunned them. Colorado, of course, in 2002, that was the miss. Teemu open net, 2008, the first Game 7, that's when Roenick had his epic 4-point night. Detroit, that was a great one where Marlowe was gutless, but he scored the series-winning goal. Of course, Detroit came back from a 0-3 deficit in that series. And of course, 2013, the home team series in that one that went to the home team in LA, and
2014 is the series of which we will not speak.
Yeah.
and there it is. 2014 comes back to haunt us right now. That's the scary part. Is
See-
that kind of haunts us a little bit.
And I would argue that nothing before 2011 even matters. Like, none of those other games even matter.
Well, sure. I'm just mentioning the history. I mean, obviously, there's been so many rollover from even 2 seasons ago. How it is, but that's the way it's gone. The Sharks are 5-4 in their Game 7 history. They are 2-1 on home ice.
Well,
Yeah, I get where Ian's coming from with that, because it was didn't Nashville have like a ridiculous like record after being down 2-0 that they had like
They've never won a series after being down 2-0.
Exactly. So we'll see what happens here.
oh my God, it's like all of these like magical stats are coming together in like a massive.
I hate such. It's lazy
So do I.
journalism.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so funny. It's just
they're false, they're just false talking points. They're empty narratives just to fill airtime, and
Go
dear
us.
Lord, it's just that. Yeah, it's also that same thing of well, we've got so many guys with that have a ring. They have Stanley Cup experience, and it's like, well, go back and look at the 2012 Kings. Did all those guys before they won have Cup experience? I don't think there was.
Yeah, someone has to win at some point. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's the thing that I always got a kick out of. Like when Detroit wins their second in 2 years, or when Chicago wins their second in 3 years, or when LA wins their second in 3 years, then okay, yeah, you got a lot of okay, I get that.
right?
But,
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying. It's like,
I know what you're saying.
Give me a break with that.
I'm with you.
Trying to go through the chats here. I think somebody asked about Zubrus's time on ice. Yeah, he had 7:12. Melker Carlson had 8:44. Nieto, who left the game injured, had 3:53. So they weren't quite rolling 4 lines tonight. I mean, that might have played into the issue. Top guy on the ice, let's see here. Martin was at 24-27. Where's Bernsey? Bernsey had 26-19, so he was on top. But Braun had 23 minutes. Hurdle had 20 minutes tonight, and Vlasic had 22. So they definitely got their share in. Yeah, in a fairly disciplined game, I thought. Not a whole lot of penalties. We had like 1 power play for each side in the third, and then the coincidental minors with Smith for Nashville and Vlasic, probably said something about his mama in French or something.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that Vlasic went to the. Yeah, on that one, when it was just that kind of pile up there, it looked like Vlasic got in a good shot, and I thought it was going to be just a retaliation. But there was a decent amount of interference tonight, but it all went on uncalled. So I don't have a problem with it. You know what I mean? As long as they're not like pick and choosing their spots. But the fact that for the most part they swallowed the whistles, and it was even on that part. But I still go back to the the ridiculousness of the face-off circle percentages. You gotta be better on that.
So here's some just on the topic of time on ice. So Dylan and Polak Dylan was on the ice for all 3 goals, and after the 3rd goal, he never saw the ice again. And
What a shock!
Polak had like a little tiny itty bitty shift after that, but that was it from him too. Also, it looks like Carlson and Zubrus didn't see much of the ice after everything went south.
yeah.
With the exception of Carlson being on the ice for the OT goal.
For the OT goal, yeah. But I mean, you have to go to your.
Yeah.
I mean, they were skating through quicksand. It looked like.
So I mean, I don't know how realistic this is, but would you start DeMello over Dylan? I mean, realistically, I mean, after you saw that performance by Dylan, would you start DeMello? I mean, I know I would, but that's me.
I think again, you're going back home where you've been good this series. You've had bounce back games at the tank already. You know what, man? I've gone all in with this group. I probably, like I said, it's just like Jones. These are the horses I'm riding into the sunset. If that sunset's on Thursday, so be it. But I think you got to give them a chance to bounce back. The Sharks looked really good. I think we all came on here and talked about how awesome they looked after Game 5. And okay, maybe we didn't, so it was just me. But that's neither here nor there.
No, I would like the idea of, yes, you dance with the girl you brought, but I would love to see them. I'm sure tomorrow's going to be an off day. No one is completely optional. There's going to be one guy out there, probably Zubris. The rest of it, they're probably off. But dear Lord, for the morning skate, they really need to work on their communication and understanding where you need to be positionally. I'm still just dumbfounded. You guys, I'm sure, remember that I was shitting all over the contract extension and raise that Braun got that kicked in this season, because I do not think it was worth it. And kudos to him. He got better and better as the season went on and was proving me wrong left and right. And then tonight it was like, oh shit, there's the guy I remember. That's what really got me. And then going back to the whole thing that we've discussed ad nauseum was, if this team knew how, just imagine if Petrecki and Doherty had panned out, how much deeper we'd be on defense. So,
but when we say panned out, how much talent was there to begin with to pan out?
No, but the thing is that at least if Doherty and Petrecki are at the same skill level that they were able to get to the point where they can be a bottom three pairing, they're not going to be making the money that Dylan is getting. They're not going to be making that money that Pollock is getting. The Sharks clearly overpaid for those guys. We said that way back in the day when it happened. And the reason why they had to overpay is because they can't draft it and develop defensemen. Those guys pan out. They're playing for the same amount of money that Hurdle's playing for right now, and that gives you even more flexibility going forward.
Just like St. Owen saying, Doherty never was any good, though. He was a total project, and Petrecki is the one that you go, that was a miss. But that's not the point.
Sucked. It's the players themselves aren't the point I'm making. It's not
just the potential. Potential of
it. No, not even the potential. I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to single out those two players. I'm singling out I don't care if it was Doherty, Petrecki. I don't care if it was Jack off 1 and Jack off 2. It's just the fact that if just a couple of their picks, I don't care who they were, if a couple of those picks over the last 5, 6, 7 seasons pan out, that you can use them in a 4-5-6 role, you're not overpaying for guys like Dylan and Pollock. That's all. And like I said, it gives you more flexibility.
Well, I think we see next year. I think we see that DeMello draws in for Pollock, and I think that if anything, this just showed us Dylan is nothing more than a 6 D-man. A 6 D-man who's making, over what, $3.5 million?
Yeah. No, I've been beating that drum forever.
Yeah, defensively, would Demers have been better? Probably not. But still, the amount of money invested, the amount of time invested, really, it just goes to show you that this team has not learned its lesson as far as defensive depth. I don't know, guys. I also think, like I said before, I think the forwards were also at fault here. I did not like Logan's game defensively tonight. Really did not back check very hard on that 4-on-4 situation when Nashville scores early in the second. I didn't like the back check on Carlson's on overtime when Carlson could have helped out a little bit more. I just think it was a poor defensive effort again in Nashville. Just bad. It wasn't Game 3 bad, but it was bad.
It was pretty bad.
Hey, Ian, there's a question in the chat. It says Marlowe moved to the wing on the second line. Who took a spot at center on the third?
Tierney.
Tierney
playing third line center.
Yeah. Okay. So who took Tierney's spot on the fourth?
The fourth just didn't
Smalling.
play.
Smalling.
Yeah, Spalling played. It was Zuber's playing the middle on the fourth line.
Oh, okay. I'm just
they
wanted to
didn't-
answer the
they didn't
question.
play. Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah. And now the fact that you've got Roman Yossi and Johansson and Colin Wilson all getting goals, these are guys that are depth guys for Nashville, and now that they found the back of the net, do you wonder, okay, well, they've gotten some momentum now?
Well, I don't know
a
that
fucking superstar. I don't put Roman Yossi in the depth category at all. Roman Yossi's a fucking
What?
superstar.
Yeah, but the other guys who got in tonight, these are guys that really haven't shown up all series, so you'd almost kind of expect them to be due, just kind of like the way Donskoy and Tierney showed up for a game, and we're potting things. So,
Yossi's had his chances all series.
Yeah, he has, but for the most part, forward-wise, this, Nashville, God bless them, man, they've pretty much been a one-line team for this series. They've just gotten really lucky with some timely goals there. I mean, if you look at it, all the games that the Preds have won, these have all been one-goal games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was there one that was a two-goal game? I don't remember it.
What? There was a blowout game, right?
Yeah, it was 5-1 on Saturday.
No, I think it was a blowout game the other way.
Game 4, I think.
Game 4, yeah.
That's what it was? Okay.
Or no,
that was overtime.
That was overtime.
three.
So game 3 was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even give a.
Yeah. Either way, they've for the most part they've been pretty much kind of a one-line team, and that being the reason why they were, down quite often throughout most of the series.
Okay, Nieto got hurt. So everybody who was asking where was Nieto got hurt when he got ran into the goalpost, which should have been a penalty, but hey, you know what? They weren't calling anything at that point. Nieto got clipped into the goalpost. He became questionable after, what was it, I guess the second period. Sharks tweeted out he was questionable. I didn't see whether or not, they didn't show a replay, so I didn't see if it was his knee or if it was his shin, but needless to say, if it's his knee, he's got a sprain or something more than that. If it's a shin, he's probably got a fracture. I don't think we'll see him unless you get to the Cup Finals. I don't think we'll see him again this postseason.
Hey guys, can we just hit some quotes here really fast?
You're seeing the one from Pashelka?
Yeah, so we got Couture being quoted. They were stronger than us. That was the issue. They were winning more puck battles down low at the blue lines. The next two shifts, they were in our end, and we had a breakdown on a 3-on-3, maybe a 3-on-4. Guys were standing around, and it's in the back of the net. So basically, Couture, just in 3 tweets, just surmised what we've been talking about for the last 40 minutes. They were too damn slow, and they were standing around, and that is pretty much defines the game tonight. And you know what? This kind of like follows up on what Ian was saying about certain fans probably out there. Oh my God, here we go again. Sky's falling. Is look at how shitty the Sharks played tonight, and they still had to go to overtime. Imagine if they bring a decent game on Thursday, then it's like, okay, everything's right in the world again. It's like to see the Sharks, because I thought Nashville actually played a pretty good game. And they were down most of this game, or at least half of it, or whatever it was. The fact that they never had a lead until overtime versus a Sharks team that was just, like we said, sleepwalking through most of this, I think that kind of says a lot.
But if the
Sharks... it says that this team is a better team, but they didn't put in the effort.
Yeah. So I expect to see some effort on Thursday.
I mean, it would have been a lot better if you instead of doing the little dancey when you enter in the offensive zone and you stop at the blue line, just put pucks on net. I mean, I know everyone says, well, it's easier said than done. It's like, but if you put pucks on net, things tend to happen, and we keep saying that. But it just kind of seems like we stop at the blue line, and then we turn it over, and then Nashville is just off to the races, and that's that's what caused a lot of our issues tonight, was that we weren't getting pucks deep enough.
Yeah, they're discombobulated after, especially losing Nieto. Like the lines got discombobulated, which I'm not. That's not an excuse. I mean, it's obviously what happened a little bit. I still think that if you're the Sharks, then you need to overcome that shit. Like and this is when we keep talking about our depth. So hopefully that our depth comes through, on Thursday, and we're able to just
put Wingles in, and then it's just, we play the same heart-checking game as always. Maybe it gets a little bit more physical because Wingles has a tendency of bringing that physicality to it. So maybe that will answer some of it, whereas Nieto is kind of like a little bit of a perfectionist, and he brings speed. He does bring a little bit of physicality to it, but,
you got to hear this quote from DeBoer. We had some chances, could have won the game. They did a little bit more than us tonight. And in four-part harmony, you hear 17,562 fans going, yeah, no shit! They did a little more than us. No kidding!
I don't think it was a little, but...
Yeah, agreed. They were holding on for dear life for that overtime. I haven't seen anything yet on Nieto. Somebody was saying, "Oh, he might play Game 7," but like I said before, I haven't heard a status update on the injury.
To play before I even pass judgment.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Landy with his doctor hat on.
The question here, and Chivo's asking this to you, Landy, do you think this, if he does play, could this be Nieto's final game in teal?
I tell you what, if the Sharks lose in Game 7, I think they're going to have a hard look at Wingles and Nieto. I think those two both have targets on their back for off-season moves. I think we've got a couple of prospects that might push for some spots. And Ian's shaking his head. I mean, Ian, where is Timo going to fit? If Timo is as good as we think he's going to be,
he's going to take
Marlowe's spot.
San Jose Sharks. Look at Matt Nieto is an RFA who's only making $800,000 right now.
And for those of you having cocktails, Nieto is also a Long Beach native.
That's right. He's 23 years old. You don't just give up on a 23-year-old RFA. Nieto's not going anywhere unless it's a part of like a significant deal. You're not dumping Nieto just to dump Nieto. Now, Wingles, on the other hand, has 1 year left on a $2.475 million contract. That you can probably, he's 28. He's, we've said 100 times he should be at least like a 15, 20 goal scorer at this point in his career, and he's not. I think if you can find a taker for that contract, you absolutely do it. But giving up on Nieto, who has a ton of defensive upside on that bottom six, would be just stupid.
All right. Well, yeah, I think I look at Wingles as the guy more than I look at Nieto, but still. Yeah,
I just mentioned that right now as we were talking, that, with Wingles making that much, maybe it's more Wingles playing for his Shark career than Nieto is.
He's already at the lowest time on ice. Like he's the only reason they don't stuff him in the minors is because they don't want to pay him to be in the minors.
Yeah, no, I mean, so anyhow, I think he's the one with the target on his back.
Mm-hmm.
I just, it's just there wasn't enough pop from the top six tonight. Hurdle and Pavelski and Jumbo didn't look so great. Again, I mean, they just look tired. They look tired, and you don't get it. Maybe it is this whole traveling cross country thing that's doing it to them, but still, it shouldn't affect them this much.
I don't buy it.
I don't know. It just kind of seemed like they really came flat-footed and then looked into some goals early, and it just kind of was just like, oh well, we're just gonna kind of sit back on this, and it just sucked because I wouldn't want to say it's their worst effort because I'm pretty sure Game 5 in 2014 was the worst effort I've seen from that team. But dear God, I just don't want that to kind of carry over to Game 7. I mean, yes, I know we own them on home ice, and we've been kicking ass in this series on home ice. But it's just like you can't just rely on home ice to get you through Game 7. You gotta think, what did we do well against the Predators at home in games 1 and 2 in 5? What did we do well? We put pucks on net. We created chances out of nothing, and we were smart with the puck. And I think that that got lost in translation when we went into the Central. So, and this was supposed to be a team that we're dangerous on the road. Like, that was the reason why we beat the Kings in the first place, because we were dangerous. We took them in 2 games, and then we just had a chance to just end. We had it. It was so annoying that we couldn't end it tonight and just stayed in the Central and just waited for our opponent, either Dallas or St. Louis. But, time to come back to the barn, time to get it done, and then, await to see who we face next. And quite frankly, I hope it's St. Louis, because I don't think we can match Dallas's speed.
You better watch who you wish for there. I mean, St. Louis. I mean, we might have owned them in the regular season, but still,
But they play a similar style that the Kings play. So, and look how well we suffocated them. And honestly, it's like I'd rather match physicality than speed, because we tend to suck at the speed game.
Well, we do have some breaking news if you're interested. For those of you planning on going to Game 7, this coming in from our good friend Hockey Jerk, Game 7 will in fact have a street rally. So good news there on Thursday. And remember, the Sharks have abandoned the idea of a teal T-shirt, so it's all about the towel. And funnily enough, this Thursday's towel is featuring your very own 31 Marty Jones. So I really am not thinking we're going to see Reimer.
But wouldn't that be the sheer irony if Reimer were to start and you have Martin Jones rally towels? Very interesting.
If the Sharks start Reimer, I quit.
I just said that as part of the gag.
Also, letting you know right now, tickets for Game 7 are on sale right now. Be patient with Ticketmaster. There are some issues with the $77 tickets, which are the cheapest nosebleeds in the tank. Yes, $77.
And you know that Plotner and Totora just going, that Game 7.
Thanks, Sharks. Perfect.
Hey, man, playoff gates where teams make their money.
That's right. Daddy's eating some big steak that night.
Yeah, all right. Well, that brings up a good question. Do you think we see the tank full on Game 7?
Yeah.
Yes. Here's a good thing. Warriors play on Wednesday in Oakland. The Sharks will have Thursday to themselves.
And I love, I don't know if you guys caught Kurz's tweet on Saturday night, where he basically said, Sharks announced sellout, and this time I believe him. I was like, oh, mic drop.
Yeah. No, that was pretty good. I just, I think the thing that pisses me off the most is just you look at the talent on both teams, and you just go, the Sharks should just steamroll this team. And they should, but they don't. And like I said before, that the Pekka Rinne was going to be the guy that I was going to watch, because if he became Pekka Rinne and, stole a game or two, I would be pretty worried. And I was also worried about the game that Nashville plays kind of lulls the Sharks to sleep. So that's what I worry about Game 7, is just that Pekka Rinne steals the show and they get frustrated about it.
I'm noticing Gen X just started watching and got into the chat, so it's probably time for us to sign off then, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, let's kind of preview Game 7, guys. So, Sharks lose. Their series is tied 3-3. Game 7, do or die, most likely in front of a packed house at the Shark Tank. Let me go around. I will start with the Canadian Robot. I want one key item, or one key to the Sharks winning Game 7.
One key?
Yes, I know this is going to be
Can I
tough
not
for all of us.
just win the game?
You asshole! Why do you think I've been holding up 4 fingers? Just win the game. That's why I've been holding up 4 fingers. That's it.
Hey!
No. Here, let me go here.
Would they be sausage fingers?
Yes. Okay, here's the thing. Here's my key is they need their forecheck. When their forecheck's on, the Sharks win. When their forecheck isn't there, the Sharks lose. That simple.
And to answer your question, they would be Twinkie fingers. Go ahead.
I'll go to you, AJ. Your one key to Game 7.
Man, he took my bit, man. It was pissing me off.
I know.
All right, I'll come back to you. Gentry, go.
I think the key to the game, score more than Nashville. Actually, no. Honestly, I think it's going to come down to special teams. You have a dangerous power play, move the puck, and score.
All right, Landy.
Face-offs.
Forget Florida back in 2000 during the election. It's face-offs. Almighty Mr. Strong?
There's no hanging chads with this group. No, for me, it's. I mean, it touched on some great things. I mean, face-offs, huge key. Special teams, huge key.
Scoring more goals, huge key.
That's kind of the most important thing. For me, I'd say is to sum it up in one word: communication. Like they just weren't talking tonight. You got to let guys know where you're going to be, what player you have. When they're coming over the blue line, don't get crossed up. Saw it a couple times tonight. You saw it on the overtime winning goal. Carlson getting mixed up on the blue line with, I think it might have been Pollock, but either way, it was like we saw that more than a couple times tonight. At least I noticed it, where you just had guys getting bunched up because they're just not communicating. So for me, communication is going to be very, very key.
And it leaves for me, I'll put it this way. We want them to win Game 7. They want to win Game 7. We want them to do our job, so we need to do our job. So if you're going to the game, fingers crossed I win tickets, of course, that place needs to get loud. I mean, we were pretty loud Game 5, wouldn't you say, Jen? And I say we got to get even louder. Like Landy, he got irritated about those chants. Get on, Renee. Get on, frickin' Forsberg. I mean, we were on Forsberg 12 years ago, so what's the difference? Get on, Neil. Just get in there, get chants going, get loud, get your butts in the seats during warm-ups. I don't care. You guys got to step up our game. We want them to step up our game. So let's freaking go. I don't care. You got 40 and what? Well, we don't know yet because we don't know. I guess we're waiting on the outcome of Pittsburgh and Washington to know the time. But freaking
for Game 7?
Yeah, because
I just assumed it would be 7:30.
If Pittsburgh wins, if Washington wins and goes to Game 7, they're going to probably put a doubleheader on NBCSN, start that game around 4, and then have us start at 7.
Yeah, well, see, I don't even understand why Washington or Pittsburgh should even have any bearing on it. It's not like they don't have USA, CNBC, blah, blah, blah. We can watch this game. It's not like the normal, regular season BS where when it rolls long, fans of wanting to watch a late game are just screwed. I did want to make one comment about someone who was on NBC. This person irks me to no end because they constantly get shit wrong. This gentleman, I remember very vividly last year. It was who were the Senators playing in last year's playoffs? God, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but all I remember is it was they were going into Game 6, and that motherfucker Mike Milbury goes, "There's no way this isn't going to 7 games," and what happened? The team got blown out. It was over in 6. Tonight, Mike Milbury, the Sharks look ready. They're going to take care of the Preds tonight. So every time that guy has done one of those, he's a fucking guy.
Let's remind you, Mike Milbury also ran the frickin' New York Islanders to the ground, and also traded Roberto Luongo, and suggested that Joe Thornton be sent to the AHL. Oh, and that John Scott didn't have any. Oh, sorry. John Scott shouldn't be in the NHL.
What happened? Was your on location sensor evoking the beat button?
The Gentry did not like that I added the John Scott because that was essentially what he was going to do.
I was gonna steal in that. I was gonna weasel my way into that comment.
next to each other?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no. Oh, that's just so creepy. I totally thought you were like in different locations. Ian, come here for a second. You got to see this.
Gentry came over to the house and we do it from separate computers because that way it makes it a little easier. Otherwise, we're sharing earbuds like me and Landy were in Anaheim.
Yeah.
It's getting a kick.
Sorry, no, it's just Chester Chivo had a bit of a typo in his tweet.
Oh, okay. You got to share this with the class.
Yeah.
All right, I will.
Oh, Ian, all right.
So Chester Chivo meant to type they need to release a black cat before the game, but he just said release a black before the game. So I said you might have to call. You might have to call Abe Lincoln for that one.
Thankfully, I think he got that. Yeah, black cat. There you go. Good. Yeah, worst typo ever. Well, let's see. Are the Giants still in town? Maybe Hunter Pence can come out and freaking up and freaking break out of that one.
And then I love Ian with hashtag Civil War spoiler alert.
For those of you who don't know, you might want to get on Twitter during these things because other things are going on there too.
That's why you always use the hashtag Pucknology after dark, for sure. Yes. Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen,
you know what,
we're not talking about Captain America.
Let's put it this way. Notice how all of us were pissed off when we came on, or frustrated. We even got into a yelling session about what the hell this penalty was before the game. Now look at us. Landy's smiling. Gentry's got a smirk. Ian's about to just, I think, almost pee in his pants. and AJ's trying to hold back. No, see, he's gonna try, but it's not gonna work out. What?
Hey, when I was trying to argue,
it was high staking.
Yeah, but
I don't give a fuck what it was cool. I'm talking about what it on the screen.
Guys, stop fighting. This is what the terrorists want.
Let it go.
This is what the terrorists and the predators want.
Yes. This is why we need to stay together. We need to stay united.
Dude, that was really creepy how like Puck Guy dropped out of his own frame and then appeared in Gentry's frame. It was like really
That's kind of weird. It freaks me out.
Hey, this is Notch Pro Central right here. You just got to get used to it. The umbrella corporation to Pucknology. Welcome to Notch Pro Central, Pucknology After Dark.
Oh my.
Speaking of which, this means there will be a teal tinted glasses on Wednesday, right, Ian?
Yep.
Oh,
be awesome.
My goodness. I mean, we will have Game 7.
Game severed.
Yes. We will have Game 7 coverage. More coverage than. Never mind. I'm not gonna start that rant up again. So final thoughts. I'll start with Ian.
All right. I'll finish the show how I started it. The Sharks have been fantastic at SAP Center this series. They looked like shit in Nashville, games 3 and 4, and they were dominant game 5. There's no reason they can't be dominant in game 7, so if you want to be the reverse bandwagon and tell me how this is the great collapse of 2016, just save it till after game 7 and then see if it's appropriate to say.
Gentry.
I think what the Sharks are going to need to do is they need to play to their strengths, and they need to reestablish the fact that the Tank is the loudest, most ruckus arena in all of the NHL. And if they can get that and they can feed off the energy like they have been this series, they'll take it. They'll take Game 7 in a heartbeat.
Landy.
Abe Lincoln is the greatest American president in the United States history.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I mean...
He was really honest.
Yeah, he was really honest. But, look, I mean, honestly, that the defensive game has to be better tonight. The forwards have to track back better, and they've got to will it. It's just what it is. And you know what? We've shit on this team a lot for their will, or their lack thereof. This is going to be a big test tonight. I mean, winner goes home, or loser goes home, and winner gets to face the St. Louis Dallas winner. We'll see what they're really made of. We'll see if they're different.
Mr. Strong,
I'm sorry, I forgot what the question was. What do you want to know?
your final thought.
Oh, you know, I want them to play. I don't know if everybody on here, I'm assuming Gentry and Eric both have. I don't know if Landy and Ian have. But on the, wow, there's like a floating hand. But, oh, that was, okay.
It's Puck Mom.
Well, yeah. Puck Mom is bouncing from, like, house to house. It's creepy. I don't know how she's doing that. She's like Genie. You hear, like, I Dream of Genie, or like Bewitched, just. But anyway.
There is a way I can say something, but I don't want to get smacked upside the head.
I think he was going to use the word witch. So anyway, we're going to Jesus Christ. See, these guys are dicking around. I totally forgot what I was like. Oh, okay. So anyway, Joe Thornton in a commercial there was some sort of quote that I hear in every commercial. It says something about San Jose deserves a winner and we're going to win for him. Live up to your words, Joe, and bring the whole team with you, man. Yeah, we do deserve a winner. We've been with this team for 25 freaking years, and holy crap, have we seen you piss away what should have been, you know, stuff you should have had, stuff that was inexcusable, like tonight, for example. So let's see you take 7. This is... If you look at the history, this is the closest. Even though they're not even in the next round, this is the closest you've ever been to the Stanley Cup. So get there.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. This is probably the best possible chance for them to win the Cup. 06, they were essentially the top seed. Had a 2-0 lead on their team and lost it. But nonetheless, the Sharks are 3-1 at home. They have never lost to the Nashville Predators in a playoff series. And this crowd, I don't care. Do you need your voice on Friday morning? No. Do you need to use it Thursday morning? No, really no.
No, you do. I mean, if you find the street team and ask for a free shirt, but that's 5 seconds, and you can probably do it with sign language.
Right, or even text it. But nonetheless, you got 2 days to rest up the voice, and then after that, you probably won't need it for another week. So, with that, for AJ Strong, Ian Reed, Gentry Alexander. There you go.
So creepy, man.
We got AJ smiling now. For Eric Landy, I am Eric, that guy. Make sure you subscribe down below or to the side, depending on how well you're seeing this. Make sure you log on to Pucknology.net.
Let's just end this effort.
But until Thursday, where we are either smiling or we're clean shaven. Keep it real, keep it fresh, keep it real fresh. Get Game 7 loud. Back to you.